The truck driver hit him head-on. The driver didn't rush to save anyone after getting out of the truck. On the contrary, I felt like I was the luckiest one. What was even more horrifying was that the dying man used his last breath to call for help from the driver. The driver looked around, and after realizing no one was watching, he quickly ran back to his truck. Later, the court ruled that this was a traffic accident. The driver was sentenced to only 1 year and 2 months in prison, essentially letting it slide. The victim's mother demanded an explanation from the driver, but he showed no remorse or said anything. He just pushed the elderly man to the ground. What the driver didn't know was that he had been targeted by an underground judge named Away. At night, when the driver went to shower alone, Away tracked his exit. If nothing unexpected happened to anyone, in 5 minutes the driver would become a supporter there. Haha. An ordinary police officer at night becomes an underground judge to purge violence and uphold justice, letting criminals escape legal punishment. Ultimately, they end up dying at his hands. For example, an old miserly man harmed a boy's mother, killing her right in front of him. Later, I was diagnosed with psychotic disorder for only 3 years. This kind of judgment was wrong. The seeds of vengeance were planted in the boy's heart. 12 years later, the boy became a police officer through his own efforts. Yet the old man remained unrepentant, continuing to commit evil everywhere, over trivial matters. He even harmed a driver. But there's no need to worry. Evil has its own guardian. Away, now grown, stood not far away. His target was clear. Since legal punishment was useless, he had to confront violence directly. Away followed the old man all the way, choosing to start in a quiet alley. However, when the old man saw Away's slender figurehead, the result was that both of them fell to ground from Away's attack. Before I could recover, he kicked again. This kick alone could incapacitate someone for up to 20 years. The old man got up, took a paper button from his pocket, and placed it in his hand. Then he tried to attack again, but still missed Away's wrist. Jesse bestowed his power upon him. When the old man was released, it marked the beginning of Away's fight against violence. He saw an incident on TV. 2 thieves had broken into a citizen's home, forcing the homeowner to pay money. The homeowner stepped forward to stop them, but was violently attacked and severely injured. The young man received no compensation. He even tried to sue the court to challenge the victim's claim and continue to threaten the family. When Away heard the news, he rushed to the victim's home. At that moment, the 2 thieves turned toward the house's window. Away grabbed the window with a wooden plank and attacked a group of young men. Haha. The next day, he saw another news report about a rape. A male doctor had assaulted a female patient. Not only was he not punished, but his medical license was also not revoked. Filled with anger, he went to this hospital. 1 second before entering the room, the male doctor was preparing to operate on the female patient after administering anesthesia. Away pressed the man down onto the table and then administered an overdose of anesthesia. The man immediately lost consciousness and collapsed to the floor. Then he stepped on the doctor's hand and broke it. The next villain he punished so utterly made him a hero admired by everyone. This man brutally and cruelly raped a 9-year-old girl, making her unable to urinate and defecate on her own, and living only on feces. However, the devil was not punished enough. In the end, he was only sentenced to 7 years in prison. On the day he was released from prison, he became very famous. A large crowd gathered at the door to look down on him. However, this did not affect the dining experience at his home. What no one expected was that after being released from prison, not only did he not feel remorseful, but on the contrary, he even followed the girl again. He thought that it was she who made him like this. Oh my God, I was terrified, crouching in the corner, just as he was about to kill the girl. Guillaume kicked him immediately. We had bought some kind of drug. For example, I am a critic of Donald Ignance's symbols. And even though I am articulate, now my BT, you can make yourself stronger. Now my kitty, you're trying to use a strategy, right? You didn't kick the car. It wasn't Tiger Terra. That's where I am, at the edge of the corridor. Tita Naga, the support data, made the critic afraid. The rocket was dropped. It could be considered critique. One day, he trusted your mother, kicking Chucky, who could hold him until she got the truth. When the police arrived, the devil had become a corpse, and the spirit's message was written on the wall. This pest elimination incident caused panic across South Korea. Internet users nationwide called it good. This murder series drew the attention of the police, so the Guangsuo group intervened in the case. They intended to punish the dark hero. The leader of the Guangsuo group was very powerful. He could not only bend coins with his hands, but was strong enough to lift a car. But now, he never anticipated that he would eventually become a clever and brave assistant. Now, Guillaume had made his decision. The next target for punishment was the truck driver in front of him. The reason? The truck driver had crossed the road, running a red light, and crashed into a haystack. Faced with his brother's plea for help, The truck driver looked around first to check if anyone was watching nearby. Then he quickly ran back to his truck, hitting the boy holding the letter twice. In the end, the court ruled it a traffic accident, and the driver who caused it was released after a year waiting. On that day, the mother of the boy with the letter came to the driver, seeking an explanation. The driver not only ignored her plea, but also pushed the elderly man to the ground. The driver's aggressive behavior was witnessed entirely by Jiyoung. That night, while the driver was taking a shower, the accident caught up with him from behind. The truck driver drowned and died in the bathtub. When the police arrived at the scene, they found no trace of what had happened. Nearby surveillance cameras had been tampered with by an unknown obstructor. The people of Zhao County knew this was no ordinary person. After the driver's death, a video was posted online urging that the punishment of the wicked must not stop and promoting good deeds. It emphasized fighting corruption and crime until the law could protect the weak. The dark hero would disappear by morning. This video shocked my close friend because the driver hadn't been killed by him, and he hadn't posted the video himself. He wondered who had. Once released, the video attracted a large following. These followers became dark heroes themselves, walking the streets and using their own methods to punish society. Mr. Zhao wouldn't let anyone escape. He caught everyone who was seen, but the true dark hero remained uncaught. To avoid democratic voting, my close friend stopped seeking justice. However, when a news story broke, he could no longer tolerate it. An elderly woman cared for her sick husband, picking up trash daily to make a living. That day, a second-generation driver drove onto the street. The old woman blocked my path. Startled and worried, she tried to steer the car another way, but her legs and mind couldn't control it. Frustrated, the second-generation driver kicked the old woman directly with his foot on the accelerator, then shouted harsh curses at her. Now, the neighbors could no longer stand it. They intervened and attacked him. I didn't expect that even after the police arrived, the second-generation driver wanted to sue them. Later, the honest neighboring residents were also taken away by the police. The weak elderly woman finally had to let him go after all attempts to help failed. Oh my God, where did you come from? This elderly woman is someone Jiyoung always helps. Every time I visit her house and see her, Jiyoung assists her to show his gratitude. I even prepared 2 pieces of candy for Jiyoung, so he could feel a little warmth in this cold world. Jiyoung knew that the second-generation driver was in the hospital. Police patrols had been sent far away due to traffic enforcement issues. Then he secretly entered the ward and forced a bottle into the driver's mouth. Now the Esk of water is on the mountain. Did you buy something smart? You once went to the Pantheon. Vow allegiance to all nations' husbands, but this provided only a portion of the milk music. He's blaming you. I tried to grab a knife, but couldn't get it. If I had asked, my roommate didn't directly kill the second-generation driver. He only wanted to instill fear in others and punish him to death. However, when he went out, he ran straight toward Zhao Xian. Zhao Xian, aware and alert, noticed something was off with him and almost went to investigate. I heard urgent sounds from behind. It turned out to be police who had found Zhongji and were bringing him back. The second-generation driver was now trembling with fear, standing right in front of them, making it clear to Zhao Xian that the person I had been chasing to the secret path was the Dark Hero. When they nearly checked the surveillance, they discovered that all cameras in the hospital had been tampered with. Now Zhao Xian chased the secret path, and Jiyoung cleverly pulled off his white coat, leaving the hospital safely through a side door. But now, the second-generation tycoon fell from the building and died instantly. Jiyoung, hiding in a corner, witnessed everything. A dark-skinned man then tied a rope and climbed down from the upper floor before driving the ambulance out of the hospital. Yuan Jiyoung had grown stronger and more capable. Both of them reached the parking lot, where Jiyoung realized that his opponent was someone he knew, the very person who had posted the video online. The man wanted to cooperate with Jiyoung to eliminate people with heavier criminal records, but Jiyoung suspected he was just creating trouble. At that moment, the two clashed. After the fight, Jiyoung's opponent could not match his strength at all. Jiyoung kicked him into the corner of the building. Did the kid really handle everything on his own? Yes, it was truly brutal. Jiyoung didn't care who was who. So after their clash, the two parted ways with mutual dissatisfaction. What he didn't know was that this mysterious man was no ordinary person. He was Soo-hyun, the vice president of DK Group. He had dreamed of becoming a hero since childhood, but his identity had prevented him from doing so. To fulfill his dream, he agreed to act as the man behind the scene for Jiyoung. Meanwhile, Zhao Xian on the other side began to notice certain traces. They had done well in keeping secrets and adding to previous events. Mr. Zhao Xian monitored the movements of the Dark Hero through police, suspecting that there was a spy within the force. The next day, Zhao Xian and Jiyoung met several times along familiar paths, allowing Jiyoung to learn from the previous encounter at the hospital. This time, it strengthened his confidence in his own judgment. That night, Jiyoung had just returned from punishing the wicked and made sure not to be seen by Zhao Xian, to leave no trace. He ran out, and the two chased each other all the way to a bridge. Zhao Xian caught up to Jiyoung, but didn't continue pursuit. Jiyoung stopped running, emerging from the darkness, uncertain whether to play music, and then, suddenly, a bell rang. Which sister is still alive? Zhang Xian wanted to bring Jiyoung back, but couldn't do anything to help. In the end, the two had to fight each other. Jiyoung was defeated at the foundational level. He was no match for Zhao Xian and quickly fell.